Golden sunshine, beautiful turquoise waters, white sandy beaches, Montego Bay, Jamaica, an island paradise for many. But for one travel journalist from New York, this trip would become her most mysterious. Welcome back to Watson's World, where every mystery unveils a story waiting to be told. Today, we dive into a case that stretches from the bustling streets of New York all the way to the sandy shores of Jamaica.
What you have to say for yourself?
What's for dinner?
What's going on here?
What's that stink?
What's this for?
What time is it? What's that?
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Imagine you're on a business trip, only to be rerouted to a paradise you never intended to visit. Your feet sink into the warm sand, the balmy sea air fills your lungs, and then you vanish. Claudia Kirschhoch's trip to Jamaica was supposed to be a detour, but it turned into her greatest mystery. The date is May 24, 2000. Queens, New York City resident Claudia Kirschhoch, an accomplished assistant editor for Fromer's Travel Guides, is eager to embark on a new journey. Along with 3 fellow travel journalists, she finds herself en route to Montego Bay, Jamaica. Their ultimate destination, the new Sandals Resort in Havana, Cuba. But plans change. Upon arrival, the group learned that they would not be allowed entry into Cuba. Now, they're stranded in Jamaica, with all return flights to New York booked solid until June 1st. So, what do travel writers do when faced with such a dilemma? They make the best of the situation. On May 25th, Claudia and her colleague, Tanya Grossinger, are redirected to the luxurious Sandals Beaches resorts in Negril, Jamaica. It's in this resort, against a backdrop of swaying palm trees and cerulean waters, that Claudia meets Anthony Grant, a charismatic bartender with a captivating smile. They quickly become friends, and Claudia even finds herself dancing with him under the starlit sky of the resort. And for a moment, things seem just perfect. Fast forward to the morning of May 27th. Over a breakfast of tropical fruits and freshly brewed Jamaican coffee, Claudia and Tanya discuss their plans. Tanya manages to grab a last-minute flight back to the concrete jungles of New York. Claudia, however, decides to soak up a bit more sun, intending to stay at the resort until a flight home becomes available. As the day warms up, a lifeguard catches a glimpse of Claudia gracefully walking along the beach, her t-shirt fluttering in the breeze, a radio in hand. But little did he know, this would be the last confirmed sighting of Claudia. June 2nd, days turn into a week, and a perturbing silence looms. Claudia, always meticulous about keeping in touch, hasn't called her parents. Concerned, they reach out to Fromer's Travel Guides, only to be met with the chilling revelation: Claudia never returned to work. Negril's beauty is quickly overshadowed by a looming mystery. An investigation reveals that Claudia's hotel room is eerily untouched. Her passport, her return ticket, camera, cellular phone, all lie untouched as if waiting for their owner's return. Notably, 180 United States dollars in cash, as well as her credit and ATM cards, are among the items left undisturbed. However, her bikini, the t-shirt, and the radio she had last been seen with are missing. Now, without firm evidence suggesting otherwise, Jamaican authorities began to entertain the possibility that Claudia might have drowned. The missing bathing suit and her last known location at the beach lent weight to this theory. However, upon further evaluation, The beach where she was last spotted was found to lack deep waters, and the currents were not particularly strong, making the theory less plausible. But here, things take a disturbing turn. In decisions that can only be described as baffling, Claudia's personal effects are moved to the resort manager's office. Her hotel room cleaned and given to other guests, potentially erasing any evidence that might have remained. The logbook that recorded the license plates of all the cars entering and exiting the resort also mysteriously disappeared. And as if fate were playing some cruel joke, crucial security footage near Claudia's room is mistakenly recorded over. And let's talk about Anthony Grant, the friendly bartender. Oddly enough, he calls in sick on May 28th and remained absent for the next 4 days. Was it a mere coincidence or a chilling connection? Now the FBI's involvement added another layer. Their search dog, laser focused, traced Claudia's unmistakable scent, not just anywhere, but to the home of Anthony Grant, the very bartender she had befriended. Her scent lingered on his boots, gloves, and chillingly on a knife. But it wasn't just that. A single strand of Claudia's hair was discovered in the back seat of Anthony's white Toyota Corolla. The same dog, almost magnetically drawn, found her scent in the car, eerily concentrating around the trunk. Yet, despite these glaring connections, concrete evidence remained elusive. That knife, marked with blood, didn't provide conclusive DNA. Anthony's polygraph test, inconclusive. It raises the question, was the evidence mishandled? Or was the universe conspiring to keep the truth shrouded? The Jamaican press painted a picture of Claudia as an adventurous spirit, insinuating she might be the master of her own vanishing. This portrayal is sharply contested by her family though. Lawsuit accusations of evidence tampering and even alleged sighting of Claudia rippled through the subsequent months, adding layers to the mystery. Now, Claudia's disappearance spread throughout Jamaica, of course, like wildfire. A whispering campaign began in the hush corners of the Negril streets and markets. Local murmurs painted a vivid picture of Claudia supposedly enchanted by the beauty and rawness of Jamaica, having chosen to vanish, to live tucked away in the hills with a Jamaican lover. A narrative both romantic and far-fetched. Yet, it became a popular theory among many. Fred Kirschhoch, Claudia's distraught father, strongly refuted the swirling rumors. He insisted that Claudia had no reason to run away. She cherished her life, her relationships, and the new chapter that had just begun with her new apartment. Everything was falling into place for her, making the idea of her escaping it all inconceivable. But still, the whispers persisted. Now Detective Frater, working tirelessly on the case, found himself sifting through a deluge of phone calls. Eyewitnesses, or so they claimed, vividly described spotting Claudia in the lush Jamaican hills, often in the company of a Rastafarian man. Yet every lead, every hopeful call crumbled away, leaving behind nothing but fruitless trails. But amidst the waves of speculation, one fact stand out. Claudia Kirschhoch, a dedicated journalist with an innate love for travel, disappeared without a trace. Now in 2002, Claudia was declared legally dead. Though hope and speculation continued to swirl, her story, a mesh of intrigue, beauty, and heartbreak, remains an unsolved mystery. When tragedy strikes, its echoes resonate. In the wake of Claudia vanishing, entire communities would find themselves grappling with the fallout, and a family's relentless pursuit for answers would shake industries and inspire change. The travel journalism world was taken aback by Claudia's disappearance. For those who wander the globe, seeking stories in the most remote or popular corners, Claudia's story was a stark reminder. Vulnerability can strike, no matter how prepared one might be. Her family, in the midst of their grief, channeled their pain into action, becoming vocal advocates for the safety of tourists, especially in foreign lands. The Kirschhoch family, unwavering in their determination, launched awareness campaigns worldwide. Their message, a simple, poignant one: stay vigilant, no matter how safe or familiar the world around you might feel. But it wasn't just Claudia's loved ones who felt the aftershocks. Anthony Grant, the bartender from the resort, found himself caught in a tempest of suspicion. Not an official suspect, yet forever under the shroud of public scrutiny, Anthony's life in Negril became untenable. Reports suggest he sought solace in relocating, hoping to leave the whispers and stares behind. Negril, a community with its lifeblood tied to the ebbs and flows of tourism, felt an acute anxiety, the looming fear, a decline in American tourists stirred by media coverage, an economic blow they might struggle to recover from. Yet, in the face of adversity, the spirit of Negril shone bright. The community rallied. New safety initiatives sprouted, emphasizing enhanced security measures and robust communication. Workshops, community awareness programs, and collaborations aimed to not only rebuild Negril's image in the eyes of the world, but also to strengthen the very fabric of their community. Today, 2 decades on, the mystery of Claudia Kirschhoch remains unsolved, its enigma intact. Her story finds its way into crime documentaries, travel advisories, and late-night discussions, serving as a dual narrative, a cautionary tale and a heart-wrenching reminder of life's unpredictabilities. Now, listeners, as an ex-police officer, I want to take the time out to use a kind of profiling technique employed by the FBI to delve deeper into the speculative realm. I want to try to craft a potential profile of the person I believe is behind Claudia's disappearance, using the evidence at hand, of course. Now, it's imperative to remember that this is pure speculation, but profiling can sometimes help shed light on the darkest of cases. Let us start out with motive and opportunity. The potential perpetrator likely had a motive, whether personal or opportunistic. Claudia's status as a solo traveler in a foreign land might have made her more vulnerable. The perpetrator might have been familiar with Claudia, given the evidence pointing towards someone she might have interacted with. This isn't an arbitrary act. It's targeted. Now, to ensure no trace of Claudia was found immediately, the individual would have an intimate knowledge of the local terrain, including hidden areas. Committing such an act in the environment of a resort suggests to me that the individual is audacious, willing to act even with potential witnesses nearby. The nature of the crime suggests an ability to emotionally disconnect from the act, especially if the perpetrator had known or interacted with Claudia. The potential focus of Claudia might imply a possessive or controlling tendency. Maybe an innocent interaction, benign to us, sparked rage or obsession in their eyes. Now, my beautiful peeps, while this profile sketches an individual familiar with Claudia, and the resort's surroundings. Capable of disengaging emotionally and prone to taking risk, it is important to note that this remains hypothetical without conclusive evidence. The hope is, as always, that the truth will eventually emerge, shining a light on the enigmatic disappearance of Claudia Kirschhoch. Guys, as per usual, if you have any information relating to this case, you can email me at thenoblecop@gmail.com. Your identity will be kept strictly confidential. Remember, as always, my duty is to keep people safe. This is Watson's World, and as we navigate the layers of this intricate story, we're reminded that every journey has its risk. But it's the stories we share, the awareness we spread, that can make all the difference. Guys, before I go, remember to click on that subscription button. If you have not yet subscribed, click on the notification bell so that you'll be alerted every time I upload a new video. Until next time, my beautiful people, walk good. Yeah, man.